All right, Salaki. I had stopped it because I wanted to go to that scripture. Just real quick, the side note, which I'll go ahead and grab it. Matthew 19:27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Right. So we're following this straight gate. We're going through these trials and difficulties. We're overcoming every day through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And Apostle Peter, back then, thousands of years ago, he was asking, well, what am I going to, basically receive for my, my sacrifice, for my effort? Verse 28. And Yahweh said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You're going to be joint heirs with Yahweh. Well, the elect men, the 144,000 men are going to be joint heirs with Yahweh. And under them, you have the 1/3, which is the men, women, and children, the remnant. Verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands. And this is the time that we're coming into, right? The time when we're going to have to forsake. You will have to forsake things, okay? And it's not even necessarily, willingly in the sense of, let me run away from my crib because martial law, well, actually, Salakia, no, that was a terrible example. Salakia, because that would be the second thing of what I was going to say. Basically, what I'm saying, like, now, which a sacrifice is a sacrifice, if it's sincere, right? So, we have some things that we gave up when we came in the truth, or things that we give up, in our walk because, it's interfering with the walk, right? Like, you might quit a certain job, right? Because it's draining you, or maybe it's getting in the way of, camp things or trips, with the camp, mandatory trips, it's just interfering with the ministry. So you cut the job off, right? Like Yahweh said, if your right hand or your right eye, offend thee, cut it off, pluck it out, So you might do something like that. And that's things that we're going to have to do in the time we're coming into first and foremost. But also, there's going to be times where you just need to mentally detach from those things, because if you get chased by martial law out your crib, you didn't willfully decide. I mean, you did, but you didn't. Oh, man, let me forsake my house. Let me get out of here. You did that because you were running away from troops. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different scenario, but you need to mentally detach, because Satan's going to be all up in your head. Well, maybe you should go back. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should grab it. And then especially with people, what if we have to, get separated from our wives, from our children, from brothers even, but you're not forsaking them like what it's talking about here. But I'm saying we have to be willing to mentally, just detach from the flesh, from emotions. And that's not easy, but the Lord is going to really put us in a heavy spirit, a heavy mindset, to where we're just going to be cold in a good way, cold like badass. I believe that. It's not going to be easy. Jacob's trouble is going to be difficult. It's going to be very uncomfortable. But 1 Corinthians 10:13, the Lord isn't going to put you in a situation that you can't handle. So if you find yourself strapped in the chair getting tortured and then put to death, the Lord put a spirit on you to bear that and endure that. Like, look at the 2 Maccabees 7. Look at them. I always forget his name, and I hate that I do that. But the man that said, I think it was a few hundred years after Yahushua had passed away, and he said, flip me over, I'm done on this side. He had a certain spirit on him, a boldness, right? The righteous are as bold as a lion. That's the spirit of Yahushua. Yahushua took, that crucifixion on the chin, man. He took his whole life on the chin. Seriously. That man went through straight hell. He took it like a boss. For real. That's some hardcore shit right there. And we need to follow in his footsteps to the best of our ability. He's with us. Right? His spirit is with us. He's here with us. He's going to be here with us soon physically. when he comes back, cracks the clouds, but he's with us in the spirit. You know, so that's where I'm going to go ahead and end off. I know I was kind of all over the place, but Lord willing was edifying, exhorting. You know, I definitely try to put some exhortation out there, you know, because I could use it myself. You know, I like hearing the pump-up videos. I like brothers going to certain prophecy and encouraging words like, yeah, we about to get out of here. You know, this shit going to pop off. You know, those things keep my flame lit. You know, so Lord willing, it was edifying. Before I close, I want to say, Call Halal, Yahweh Shemel Shai, Ba Shemachah HaKwadash, Dub on us, the Apostle, Great Millstone.